Hello and welcome to Live with Rex, episode 100. Wow, 100 of these within the space of 3 months ain't too bad. If 3 months is like what, 90s? So that works out pretty damn cool. I didn't realize we'd get here so quickly. Keep in mind, these streams started before January 1st, just a little bit before, and some days there's been more than one stream. But welcome to my 100th live stream special. Sorry about the last one cutting out. I got one of those annoying, I don't know what else describes, for some reason my phone decided to immediately connect to a phone call, which it doesn't normally do. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Very excited, been at work all day, very excited to do this stream. Now this stream will only be on till 8:45, right? I would be open to the idea of collabing, but I think we need to figure out what to do as a collab, but I'm up for the idea of collabing with people. So I'm just going to get set up, I'm going to get a snack, stuff like that. Now, annoyingly, I can't do something that you guys have requested. So, of course, in this stream, we're going to be building a set from 2012, but it's also a set from Revenge of the Sith. People requested that I put Revenge of the Sith on in the background while we build. Sadly, we can't. Well, we could, but we can't. We could, but then this would not be able to upload as a normal video. YouTube would remove it and strike me. Copyrighted content for being in the background of a live stream. But we're going to build this. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. And a lot of comments saying, please don't open this. Look, I typically don't buy sealed sets to open them, but this is one of these sets that is a pain to find complete with all the figures. Like, I could live with the R2-D2 and the security battle droid being missing, because I have those figures. That R2-D2 is in a lot of sets, and that security battle droid, right? That's a good idea. That security battle droid was in the 2012 Advent calendar. But I kept finding them with either Nute Gunray or Obi-Wan missing. Now, I'd rather have a nice sealed one. Oh, and I've hit that thing. Plus, some of the 2012 sets had random posters and stuff inserted inside them. So, that can be cool as well. But that's what we're going to be doing in tonight's stream. I have to go back into work for 9. Just to help out with a couple of things. Basically just to help deal with a bit of machinery that I know their co-workers not too comfortable with. They'd rather I just went and done it. So we'll be streaming till 8:45 more or less, but we're very excited. We're going to be building this. I had quite a bit of advertising around doing this one. And, you know, well received, by the way. The short, a couple of shorts I posted on this one, everybody really liked it. The community posted well, so I'm excited. We're going to be getting into that. I'm going to quickly go to the toilet, going to get a can of juice, and we're going to get into it. I'm so excited for this set. You know what it is? It's cool building a set I've never built before, but it's even cooler with the nostalgic sets, because that's a different level. I'll be right back. you feeling? Feeling better? If you remember me, yes. If you remember me, I'll pick your crackers on my way back. I should only be there for 25 minutes. It's only a quick thing. I very asked me, it's small, right? I'm in for 45 minutes at 180 in the air fryer. Aye. Should be. The tin foil. No. No tin foil. I don't know if you can, but just be safe and don't. That's what I'd say. All right, I am back. One second, guys. Don't just be careful with the tin foil. I wouldn't put that in because it. I'm gonna go. I'm in the middle of filling a form out online for looking at mortgages. So I'll be a bit busy. It's for a bank. I'm filling out a thing for a bank. A bank? Yes, yeah. Basically, before you can ask them for a loan, you have to send them your details, and they'll tell you if you're allowed. So I've been doing it with every bank to see who offers me the best stuff. So I'm thinking ahead, isn't I? So I'm going to go finish that. Right, I'm sorry I'm back this time, but yeah, here we are. You need a new walk with the newest gunship, Battle of Coruscant. See, when the 2023, right, Coruscant Guard gunship came out, before we realised it was downsized and crap, a lot of us I had the idea to buy 4 of them and put them away to build a mock with them. I never did. I never even bought one. Hey, nice to see you, Potato God, but yeah, here we go. The 100th stream. And, you know, I've gained like something like 30 subscribers again in the last 24 hours. My subscribers keep going up and up. So I reckon, right, today's Wednesday, the 1st of April. I reckon by Friday or Saturday, I'll be at 3,500 subscribers, right? Because I'm at like 3,389, right? So I reckon by the... Do you know what? Everyone subscribe to comment. I mean, it's me saying it. That kind of means something. Anyway, so basically, like I said, when I get to 3,500, I'll do another vote. And that vote will stay up until I get to 4,000. Now, guys, it'll be another 2012 set vote, right? You're welcome, comment. Basically, I want to do a big video next year, and I want to call it the 2012 LEGO Star Wars sets 15 years later, as old as that makes me feel. And my goal with that is I want to get the sets, but so the next vote will all be 2012 sets that I don't have, and you guys can pick it. So every time we get to another 1,000 subscribers, you guys get to pick the set. But the way things are going, that could happen a couple of times this year because you guys have been relentless. Let's get building. You can tell I'm excited. This set is one of those ones that has a lot of memories to it. I suppose I should tell some stories of the set while I'm building it, but I got my original copy of this back in, I think it was February of 2012. This is not one of the ones I got upon release. When it comes to the January 2012 set lineup, the ones I got immediately as a kid, I got the TIE Fighter, and I got the X-Wing, and I think I got the Endor Battle Pack. Unfortunately, the Commander Wolf set was a 2011 set. I do like other years, but due to nostalgia and other reasons, I'm specifically trying to find the other 2012 ones. I'm not missing too many. The Republic Frigate is a set you're talking about. I do want to get. It is an idea. But, guys, are we ready? I'm going to crack open a... I don't like saying how old some of these sets are. Are we ready to crack... Are we ready to do this? Crack open a 14-year-old set? I'm going to put on some like background noise and stuff like that. That is one of the main ones I need to get. I do have the figures from the set, but I don't own the battle pack that they came in. The set you're talking about is called Elite Clone Troopers versus Commando Droids Battle Pack, and that is one of the January 2012 sets. But it's one of those weird things. It's like, see, as a kid, when I was getting the sets in 2012, right? I can't. If I put on anything that is a copyrighted thing, YouTube will not allow me to upload this stream. And guys, what a shame it would be if I couldn't upload the 100th stream as a regular video. That would be the worst. I mean, I like to upload all of these. I'm trying to figure out what I did with one of the remotes. I like to upload all these streams as videos. Could you imagine how upsetting it would be if this stream could not be up for people to see? Plus, it's the 100th stream. See, when I was building the 2007 UCS Falcon, I put on the original Star Wars trilogy. While building it, I got strikes. Well, I didn't get strikes, but the YouTube removed the live streams. I can see them, but you guys can't. And, you know, this is something we want to remember. Where is my can? There it is. But yeah, let's crack open this set. I've had this set sitting around for nearly a week. And potentially next week we'll build Luke's Landspeeder from 2010, which is another sealed set. I've got a lot of people, like I said, were in the comments saying, please do not open this. Look, as I said earlier, this is a set that's hard to find in good condition. It's weird, like, you will always be able to find a Republic gunship from 2008 in good condition. But take, for example, something like this. Very a pain in the butt to find good condition. But, quickly adjust the camera. Right. Let's get it up, right? Put that over there. Right, we're ready. 3, 2, I want to devalue this. 1, go! We have awoken you from your slumber. Ah, does it smell like 2012? Yes. And I am someone who keeps the box. This is a box I would display. 2012 of the Darth Maul art. It's insane. Wow. Right, so what we got here? We got not too many stickers, so I'm okay with that. That's cool. Back when instruction manuals still looked cool, and since it's 2012, you know, we're still advertising. These are some of the other sets from that era. Looks pretty damn cool. Features, oh man. The instructions smell interesting. The instructions smell old, but I like it. Does this one have the comic book in it? I don't think that it does. 2012 was one of the years where they put comic books in a lot of the instructions. No, there's no comic book. I suppose it was mostly in sets you'd have to make stories in. So that's bag number 2. That's bag 4. Bag 3. Bag 1 has all the figures in it. This one, for me, even if I wasn't buying it for the build, this one I always thought had cool figures in it. Wow. See, for me, guys, this is trip down memory lane. For 9-year-old. See, for me, when I was 9 when this set came out, there was no sets at that time that had Episode 3 Anakin and Obi-Wan that was still on store shelves. So this was a really cool set back in the day. We're gonna open up the first bag. We ready? Let's go. So, contained in this bag, it's been a while since I've built a set from 2012. What was the last one? I'm looking at my shelves. I'm genuinely curious. I don't actually think I have an answer to that question. Frantically looks at the shelves trying to determine the year of some of the sets. All I know is it's been a while since I've done a 2012. I think the last set I bought from this year would have been CC-10 Starfighter, which I believe was part of the summer lineup. Right, I got so many small pieces in this bag. Gotta be careful here. You know, there's got holes in that so the parts can breathe. So I do already own the Anakin from this set. I bought him, I got it years ago in a lot. But other than that, the Obi-Wan's a figure that always, one of my main eBay sellers that I buy from always has this Obi-Wan for sale. And I've kept telling myself, no, don't buy it. Just go ahead. Is there a print on that droid's head? No. I keep telling myself, don't buy it. You're going to buy the Starfighter eventually, and I finally have. So there we go. First figure complete. Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. Figures in 2012 just have such a cool look. But now that I've got two of these Anakins, I want to get a hood and cape on one of these. So does this one have the Sith eyes? This should be Sith eyes Anakin, yeah? Hell yeah, it's the one with the Sith eyes. Brilliant. Let's get him a lightsaber. See, this is one of those sets I wonder if LEGO would make again, because they're always going to do his yellow Starfighter. That will always be the go-to out of them. They're never going to... I feel... This is why I miss years like 2012. Because they would do these crazy one-off LEGO Star Wars sets like that you wouldn't expect them to do. Like, keep in mind, 2012, that's season 5 of the Clone Wars was not premiering, but they were going back and doing sets from the first season. They did the Old Republic this year. It was all crazy. Got the Anakin Skywalker there, looking great. I will do an up-close camera shot of the set once it's built. So, the cool figure in this one, a lot of people regard... I'm going to quickly do R2-D2 first, because all his pieces are right there. The figure in this set that a lot of people regard as being the coolest one is Nute Gunray. And keep in mind, right, yeah, by the way, the R2-D2, for anyone wondering, is just the standard R2-D2 that was around at that time. This is one of the... This stopped using him at the end of 2013. But the Nute Gunray is cool because it only ever had his Clone Wars one up until this point. So getting a new variant of Nute Gunray, especially a movie version, is cool. Because he looks so drastically different from his Clone Wars one. You know, like, well, pretty cool minifigure. See, I'm glad that we had years like 2012 where they were long to do random things. Like, they could have easily went and done his yellow Starfighter, and it's fine. Like, the yellow... Unfortunately, I collect the boxes. I'm going to need all of them for a video that I'm planning. I'm planning to do a video next year, right, with all of the 2012 sets. And I want to call it the 2012 LEGO Star Wars Wave, 15 years later. The best year of LEGO Star Wars, question mark, is a video that I've had planned. Because I believe it was the best year of LEGO Star Wars. Which, people seem to disagree. Excuse me. We got the Old Republic. We got Pre-Vizsla. We got a nice amount of everything. Right. So bag one, of course, builds you the minifigures, and it builds the platforms of which Anakin and Obi-Wan fight on. I think this is why the set is, because I need to be careful because it's old Lego brown. If this breaks, we're going to get a live reaction to it. They hate building old Lego brown. It's one of those color, like, that was part of the... What is your profile pic currently? Is it actually just is that a Minecraft sheep? I'm genuinely curious. Because I'm not able to enlarge it before you ask. But yeah, I'm not going to be talking too much. I want to try and do this delicately, because if I don't, I'm going to end up on Bricklink later tonight trying to purchase these parts, because they've cracked. See, this is back, right? When Lego actually wanted to give you extra, Lego could have not done the droid that Anakin's on. They could have not done any of this. They could have just done the Starfighter, Anakin, Nuke, Gunray, and the battle droids. But this is... What would you change your name to? Like, do you have any ideas? I mean, I could possibly come up with one. Again, I'm sorry. I'm trying to pay extremely close attention while I'm doing this. I don't want to screw this one up. These brown Lego pieces have survived 14 years in a sealed box. It would be such a shame for them to be ruined or turned to dust. I've had that happen very few times. You're going to change your name to essentially my numbers. That's so when people search me up, you can get subscribers. Genuinely asking. The MTT from 2007 is a set that I want, but I'm also aware the set could crumble in my hands. I'm going to put this Evenar Productions video on while I'm doing this.
Welcome to my review of the Lego
There's
Star Wars
nobody, so
2026 New Republic.
That's the main platform that they fight on. Hey there, and on my display they'll be fighting on this. Welcome to the stream. We've opened and we're building this for the 100th stream. Welcome all.
Luke's X-Wing, which we'll discuss more later in the video. Now the box art for this one is quite beautiful. That blue and white X-Wing contrasts super nicely to the deep black of space there. You've got the metallic blue color for the Mandalorian box art, which I also love. And even on the side, they've added the Mandalorian and Grogu movie logo.
There you go. But that's what I'm saying. They could have not put all this stuff in. Hey, welcome to the fight set. Plo Koon Starfighter, nice. What one?
Very exciting there. It does show up a couple other features of the X-Wing, and yeah, let's unbox this thing. Inside, we're going to find bags numbered 1 through 5, along with a normal instruction manual and a pesky sticker sheet. Yeah, a lot of stickers for this $70 set. Getting into our minifigures, there are only 3 here, and I definitely find that to be disappointing, given our most comparable X-Wing includes 4 for an inflation-adjusted $10 less. Of course, that lower quantity does not equate to higher quality because it's modern-day Lego Star Wars, and they literally
do nice.
not care.
So just for kind of a consistency there.
Both pilots simply reuse Luke Skywalker's orange jumpsuit design, which honestly isn't inappropriate, and I don't dislike, but if you're going to be reusing designs and lowering the quantity of minifigures...
Am I sub... What do you mean am I sub to anybody?
...to make up for that is pretty insane to me. Carson Teva is definitely the minifig I was most excited for in this set. I think they did a great job with his face.
I don't get it.
Bags under the eyes, the white beard, and the skin tone down pat. And if you thought you could just have a nice bald Carson Teva, you can't, of course, because he has a second face brand, which is very nice.
But yeah, this set's one of my favorites. It's one of those ones that over the years,
does take away the ability to have a helmetless Carson Tava.
I'm subscribed to quite a few of my
The
subscribers, to be
helmet
fair.
detail we do have, to me, looks accurate and
Right.
nice. However,
I need to do
wish
this like his
the blue
delicate
on
surgery.
top extended much further back, because his helmet is definitely more blue than it's showing on this Lego minifig helmet, and yeah, I just wish it was better here. So ultimately, this minifig just, yeah, it doesn't pass the bar.
Right, so we got to do the light next, but this is one of those sets that over the years, when I've been going back and buying sets that I had as a kid that I really liked, I kept overlooking this one. Not because it's a bad set, but you know, picking up Star Destroyers, UCS Falcons and stuff. But like I said, I'm going to be doing that video with all the 2012 sets next year is the planned date, so you guys will be voting on which ones I'm grabbing and when.
And finally, we have our New Republic Astromech droid with a lovely color scheme here, and it is
that is a 2002 advertisement poster.
However, it is not the same. This is a unique Astromech droid.
Hey,
from the new Mando
no, that's all right. We're just building the set.
However, it's not so nice that he doesn't have back printing. They're really cutting every corner they can. Overall, to me, it feels like the Lego Star Wars team has given us the bare minimum for the minifigs in this set.
Right, is that entire... But I am not enjoying building with the old Lego Brown, I've got to be completely honest. But that's the platform that Anakin and Obi-Wan's duel ends on, before they do that whole jump in the high ground scene.
I was very excited that the bottom of the X-Wing would have some retractable landing gear, and so the
right, now to build the mining droid.
Straight up, and I think looks quite nice like that. But the ones on the back are a little bit trickier, so you can either fold it straight back like that, which I just think looks a little awkward, but perhaps even more awkward is trying to fold it forward. Maybe do that, but it still just doesn't look good. So I don't love the back landing gear.
I do like how they've done the lava, like adding the little flames bubbling up as well. Like that is a good effect.
Nice and clean as I had hoped. With that being said, most of my time with this X-Wing will be spent with it landed, which I think does a great job of lifting the X-Wing up a good
The
bit
poster is
off the ground.
literally just a silhouette of Anakin with Obi-Wan Starfighter,
I'm not a big
which
fan
is the
of
bit there and it
design
says
of this
2002.
X-Wing, especially because the bottom is completely flat.
I have got a weird thing, like I look for retro Lego posters a lot of the time. That one actually came with an old set I bought, which was the Yoda versus Dooku from 2002 set.
Not that great there. The next section on the X-Wing I think was well designed. It's a very cool build, actually. Let me show you the inside of it. Very intricate. Like, it was something I had never really seen done like that before, so I did have a fun time putting that together, but throw that back down, and they did a great job with these 1x2 cheese slopes to achieve a very accurate look with the angle, and then also the coloring, the blue, and then the white. It all leads to these stickers, which add on some more
delicate with these old pieces.
Side of the X-Wing,
this is not fun. Heart surgery is easier than doing old Lego Brown.
And it's the exact same thing. The windscreen piece is this beautifully designed and printed X-Wing canopy piece that we've seen for years at this point. Just lifts away on the hinge at the back, and then you're going to find a nice printed control panel on the inside and ample space for your minifig. I almost forgot to
maybe he's just busy. He has been unwell and stuff. But yeah, welcome to the stream. We are building Anakin's Interceptor from 2012. Happy 100th stream to this. This is brilliant, eh? I'm happy that over the last 100 I've built up a little audience and stuff who get excited about these streams, and I'm going to continue to do this.
Into place there, and then they are fully laying down. So that's how Lego intends it to be, laying down in the cockpit. That is insane.
So we're currently building the little mining droid that Anakin stands on for a portion of the fight.
Like that, so that looks a little bit more reasonable, but still quite a lean back for the pilot there. Not the worst we've seen. Definitely seen worse, like on the U-Wing, but, if you're worried about your pilot minifig not sitting straight up, this is going to be a problem. Skipping to the back of the X-Wing real quick, they actually use the chest piece to create the back panel of the X-Wing, which you can lift away to reveal a small storage.
Don't put the little arms on. But no, this is one of those sets that, if they do again, I do not think they will do the Mustafar platforms or anything like that. I think Lego would cheap out modern day and got the gentle. There we go. I think Lego would cheap out.
Moving back up, we've got this large hole here, and that's going to be for your Astromech droid with a couple of studs at the bottom to hold him in place while you're flying around, so he's not going to fall out. Unfortunately, from the backside, he is quite exposed as there's no build around him at all, and of course, the lack of a back print becomes more obvious.
Lego, they would not give you the Mustafar platforms. I think you'd get Anakin and R2-D2 if this set came back, and that would be it. I don't see Lego doing like what they did in 2012 where you got the entire experience. That just doesn't That's just not how modern Lego is.
Front. Right below that, on the side of the X-Wing, we've got our New Republic logo sticker. The white seems to match, and the logo looks good to me. Then on the engines, we've got some interesting stickers that look like warning signs to me to not get too close to the intake because you don't want to get sucked in. And I think the gray of it actually does a good job of matching the gray of the brick. Maybe not the best you've ever seen, but certainly far from the worst. So half thumbs up on that sticker, I'd say.
That
The actual intake design is
second
simple,
guys,
but
got to be
gets the
careful.
job done. No complaints there. On top of each wing, you'll find this lone sticker with the New Republic logo and the blue stripe, and I think it looks nice. Nothing bad there. Of course, many people are always going to prefer prints to stickers, but this set is far from the worst offender, and the stickers don't look too bad. There's of course some stud shooters near the end of each wing,
that
both
cracked.
the top and the bottom, so they work like stud shooters. Pretty straightforward.
No, I don't have. I don't have any. I had the 2010 one, but it's a set that I sold.
Modify their sets to look a little bit cleaner for display, but again, far from the worst offender as far as like a play feature stuck onto a set. It doesn't really take away that much from the look to me. I like the laser cannon design here. I think it looks nice.
I cannot wait to be done building with old Lego Brown. This is just beginning to annoy me.
Same deal with the engine exhaust.
It's the stress that comes with the old Lego Brown.
These are well built on there. So
I do have an ATTE. I have the 2022 one.
Put the S foils into attack position, and to do that,
If you stick around, I'll show you my collection. You guys can't see it because you're sitting on those shelves while I build.
I'm a big fan of my symmetry, so that one kind of kills me looking at it from the top, but the functionality is great. So you just push it down, it opens right up, it works, it's super snappy, and I love it for that reason. You can close it by just pushing the wings.
There's some sets that I occasionally take apart to clean. This will never be one of those sets. Mark my words, the amount of stress of trying to put these brown bits together and be really careful.
Which I really like. I think it's a really great function, and I think
oh, thanks.
Kind of the rubber band system that they had in the past that could
I've not had a chance to wash my hair having been at work all day, so it's the hat for because it looks more presentable.
Goes without saying on a lot of modern Lego Star Wars sets, but of course the swooshability on this one is a 10 out of 10. It's very fun to fly around. Now, I do believe there's a couple of very important comparisons for you to see to know if this New Republic X-Wing is really worth your $70. The first of which to the 2021 X-Wing, which sold for an inflation-adjusted $60, and you can see they're basically the same exact size. I don't really know where Lego found almost another 100 pieces to put into the New Republic X-Wing versus the 2021 X-Wing, but they did. I mean, the core difference I see other than the color and the landing gear is the
and that is the mining droid.
More accurate color.
The set we are building is 9494 Anakin's Interceptor from 2012.
$10 more to have one less minifig. I really don't see where they're getting the extra money there for. And then, of course, you got to compare it to the peak X-Wing from 2018. This was Lego at its best when it came to the playset X-Wing, and this one sold for an inflation-adjusted $105, so much more expensive than this New Republic X-Wing, and it makes the New Republic X-Wing actually look.
What's your idea?
For its price in comparison, but yeah, that X-Wing shows what they really.
I'm drinking Fanta. What's your idea?
They went a little bit bigger, a little bulkier, and weren't constraining themselves down to this lower price point. And hey, I guess for
I'll have a look later on, man. I can't look while I'm streaming. It won't let me.
Now, I don't think I wouldn't recommend this to anyone that is truly interested in the New Republic X-Wing and what it has to offer. It's definitely a set that can look nice on your display.
Well, I'm saying check the time 1 second. Yeah, because like I said, I do have to go back to work. Oh, wait, you don't? What do you mean you don't know what your idea is?
Why this is $70 and there's nothing like extra here. Like if the minifigs had dual molded legs with arm prints and the astromech droid had his back print, like I mentioned earlier, then it would make sense.
Right, let's go into bag 2, which is the first bag for the actual Starfighter, where I can see more old Lego Brat. This is stressing me out to the max. And I've built a lot of old Lego sets of this colour in it and not been this bad. Like, I built the Pharaoh's Quest line that has dark red. Sorry, what? Yeah, the dog barking.
Hey everyone, Ryan here, and in this video I wanted to count down and discuss what I believe are the 10 most controversial LEGO Star Wars set releases of all time. This video is partly inspired by the recent controversial Summer 2025 wave, as well as the $1,000 Death Star slice that everybody's been hating on. We're going to start out with an honorable mention in the 2012 Jabba's Palace, which still happens to be on the shelf behind
Right, there's only one part in this bag that is that color, so we're fine.
Our actual top 10 to be.
If you guys know, you know, old Lego Brown likes to snap and come in half.
Claim the set was racist. They posted this diagram to explain some of the gripes they had with the set, but the real reason I'm mentioning this here is, again, how mainstream it went. It was on websites.
One sec,
like
guys. I'll be
NBC,
right back and we'll
just
get
insane
continuing.
for Lego Star Wars controversy to break into that level of mainstream. Lego themselves then responded saying the model in question is not based on any real building, but rather depicts a fictional scene of Jabba's palace on the planet Tatooine from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And then basically said, I'm sorry you feel that way, with, quote, the company regrets that the group has misinterpreted what the Lego Star Wars set depicts, which I think is very funny. And then months later, when the set was retiring as originally planned at the end of 2013, it would have been a very normal shelf life for a Lego Star Wars set at the time of about a year and a half. The group apparently claimed to have met up with Lego executives in Munich, where Lego apparently said they would discontinue the set starting in 2014. And so Lego then again responded by saying it is not correct that the discontinuation of the product is related in any way to the community's criticism. And so that is the very wild 2012 Jabba's Palace controversy. And kind of interestingly, when they came around to making the build again with the 2022 Boba Fett's palace, they made the roof noticeably flatter, which makes me wonder if they were doing it to avoid any more controversy of people saying it looked like other buildings or something, because it definitely isn't supposed to be that flat. Regardless of whether it actually had an effect on the 2022 set's design, it will always be in the back of my head as a real possibility that Lego kind of watered down that set to avoid it being too good like 2012 was, apparently, because the 2003 version certainly didn't garner any of that negative attention either. I mean, it hardly looks like Jabba's Palace, so fair. But anyway, I just always thought it was so crazy that that one was so mainstream, making it onto websites like NBC. For a Lego Star Wars set, I think that's pretty cool. Maybe for the wrong reasons this time, though. At number 10 from 2016, I've got the Ultimate Collector Series Assault on Hoth. And two of the biggest controversies with this set come from just the name. Ultimate Collector Series and the word assault. This set was no assault on Hoth. It was known as the assault on your wallet. And honestly, the price wasn't that absurd at $250 for 2,144 pieces. People always say Lego Star Wars sets are overpriced, and they always will. And so, yeah, assault on your wallet kind of became a meme. Anyways, the actual reason calling it assault on Hoth was silly was because there were only 2 snowtroopers included. One of them came with a speeder bike. The other one came with an E-Web blaster. And that was the entire assault on Hoth, to go up against the entire Rebel base and the Snowspeeder and all of the Rebel troopers. Like, how could they call that an assault on Hoth, right? It feels like if it were an Imperial pack, maybe you could call it an assault on Hoth without having so many rebels, but doing it the other way around didn't really work out. You add on to that the fact that the AT-AT that came out in 2014 had been retired by the time this set came out. It made it even more awkward to buy the UCS Assault on Hoth. But that wasn't really how it was supposed to be, because this set was actually delayed for about a year. I think the designer has since said this, and it was leaked like well over a year before its release through a Lego.com like animated video. And so we kind of knew something was up when the set didn't come out for over a year after that. And so with the intention being to have the AT-AT on shelves side by side with the Assault on Hoth, and then not having that happen, yeah, that obviously would not be good either. Using the UCS name and badge was also seen as something not so great with this Hoth playset. Firstly, because it was a playset before it was a UCS set. Like, if it's gonna be a UCS set, it has to be the best version of everything, and it wasn't. The Snowspeeder, for example,
let's see what's being said.
From what would be your normal Snowspeeder playset at the time. The Ion Cannon, while quite beautiful from some angles,
you're secretly smuggling fake Lego across country.
Ugly backside where you can see all of the colors inside. That definitely doesn't scream UCS to me. With the Wampa cave, you couldn't actually fit the Wampa through the front of the cave. Like, how does that make any sense for a UCS set or even a normal playset? Whether
let's
it's
get
UCS
building
or
this
not,
Starfighter.
I think that would be silly, but certainly in a UCS set, pretty insane. Then we have what I think is the worst of them all in the shield generator, only having 3 of the 4 actual generator sections. Like, pretty insane to not.
So we can build quick with other bits, because, you know, Lego grey is not changed. I know they've changed the brown Lego colour and the dark red colour a couple of years back, I think, to stop the problems.
Before and would continue to make big playsets after.
What do you mean, why is there a mid?
There was a betrayal at Cloud City, and I think solely because of this set, they started using the Master Builder Series term for bigger playsets that didn't necessarily feel like they belonged under the UCS moniker. Now at number 9, I've got another one from 2016 in the UCS Death Star refresh. Not quite a re-release because they changed up the minifigs and slightly changed some aspects of the build, and not quite a remake because I wouldn't say they like completely redid it from the ground up in the way that you would think of a remake of like the TIE Bomber. It was very much a refresh. Maybe like an iPhone S series would be the best analogy to have for that, even though they don't really do those anymore. So part of the controversy here was that there had of course been a rumor.
One second, I'll look at the comments in a
Death
moment.
Star for 2016, and many fans rightfully thought that that would mean a new panel Death Star, something more akin to 2005, because the 2008 version had just retired a year or two prior.
That's fair
they
enough.
Rarely did refreshes. There had been but a couple examples of refresh sets in the history of LEGO Star Wars, and certainly no one was expecting them to refresh one of their most expensive.
But yeah, I mean, this is a set that is very nostalgic.
Prior. So many people rightfully thought we would be getting a
No,
refresh
I have
of a
Cloud
20
City
CS
Boba.
Death Star. And I still remember the day it leaked. I was actually on the back porch of my childhood home as I stared at the picture of this box in a LEGO store on a forum and like just reading all the comments of people being upset about it. And yeah, it was a rough leak that day, I'd say. So with this refresh, the price went from $400 to $500, and if you adjusted for inflation from 2016, you would only be seeing a $50
One
price
second, I was
increase.
looking for a part.
LEGO just
But this
doubled
set,
the price
right,
increase
was
for
but the
some
first
reason,
time I
guess
got
because it must have
prequels,
cost them
Anakin
so
and
much
Obi-Wan
more to make higher
figures.
quality minifigs,
But it was also
which, don't
like,
get me wrong, was nice. It's certainly the silver
I think
lining
this
of
set was my
having
first
re-release
Jedi
set, that
Interceptor.
they
I
did
don't
much
think that there was
nicer
any
minifigs and brought it into the
Interceptors
modern
out
era.
before that.
The build, unfortunately, was left behind. The Vader's TIE Fighter got a little bit better. I think there were some small aspects of the build that changed, some sticker updates, but generally the
Everyone
build
hates
is still
clankers.
very much a 2008 build released in 2016 and then remained on shelves into the 2020s. You could buy a 2008 quality build in 2020, and that was just wild. I think they should have had a little better foresight there and not done that. They should have made this build much better than it was in 2016 because they had that opportunity. Obviously, it was, I think, a prime example of being lazy and resting on your laurels and being like, it'll sell anyway, so we'll just keep selling the same product with some updated figures. And I mean, frankly, it did. It worked well for them, I'm
But
sure.
yeah,
That
in
doesn't avoid the
2012,
controversy of it and
prior
being
to
cheap
that,
and lazy.
I
So
got
that's
into
my
LEGO
mind.
Star
Always
Wars in
took away what could have
2008.
been a very nice new
So
UCS Death Star,
no,
and
this
we
would
knew
have been
when
the
that
first
came out, we
Interceptor
wouldn't
that
be
I
getting
would have been
for
able to
quite
buy
some
that,
time,
you know, was
and
released
that time came
during my
this year. We're
collecting.
getting to that. Don't worry. Now moving on to number 8, we go to the
So yeah, this set was
2021
special for
Boba
more than one
Fett
reason.
Starship. Technically, this one could be
It's one of the ones
controversial
I'm happy
because
to
the
own
minifigs
again.
just aren't that good, with the Boba Fett having the wrong color helmet and the Mandalorian having a really ugly helmet print design, but that's not really it. It could also be controversial for its downsizing compared to previous Slave 1 models. It was much smaller than most other Slave 1s, other than like
But yeah,
the
it's,
original from 2000
like I said, this
and the
live
version
stream
from the
can't
Master
go on
Builder
as late as
series
I'd like
in
it to.
2018, but that
That's
wasn't
the
really it either,
unfortunate
and it
thing.
also wasn't the $50 price tag at the time. That didn't
Thanks,
seem
man.
like heinous,
Because
I would
of
say. It
the
was
fact that
a
I need to
Boba Fett
go back
Starship,
to work.
and it may strike many people as odd.
One second, guys.
Controversial,
Even though it's only
of
for
course,
half an
because
hour,
all
it still requires me
in
to
the
end the
LEGO
stream.
Star Wars universe, different names from time to time. But every prior Boba Fett Starship to this point had been called the Slave 1. 2000, 2006, 2010, 2019, and every micro version and mini version in between, it had just been called the Slave 1. And all of a sudden in 2021, they've switched over to Boba Fett Starship. And for many fans, this was them changing the name of the Slave 1. And to the day in 2025, no product that LEGO or any other company has released has referred to that ship as the Slave 1. It's all been referred to either Boba Fett Starship or, of course, Jango Fett Starship with the recent ones from LEGO. And I think to any rationally minded person, you would see that this is LEGO moving away from the term Slave 1, and it was. They admitted it themselves. The head LEGO Star Wars designer Jens said that Disney asked LEGO not to use the name Slave 1 anymore. It was right there from the very beginning. But for some reason, there was this...
Oh no, it was, but I wasn't collecting during that set while that set was out. This was the first Interceptor, right, that came out while I was collecting.
Which makes no sense when you look at a set like the Justifier, which came out the very next summer, and its name was simply the Justifier, not Cad Bane Starship. So calling Boba Fett Starship not the Slave 1, I think has always been the wrong move. It's just always been the name of the ship. But obviously Disney is going to make the rules there, and I suppose to avoid any ounce of controversy like LEGO had seen with the 2012 Jabba's Palace going mainstream, they stopped using the name Slave One altogether, starting in 2021 with Lego Star Wars. So you won't see that ever again, in my opinion, and it is what it is. At number 7 from 2025, I've got the most expensive battle pack ever.
Like,
with the $45
for example, the first Lego Millennium Falcon that came out while I was collecting, first playset was in 2011. But the first playset was in the year 2000. Like, that's what I mean. It was the first one that was available to me.
Has a 1.3 star rating on Lego.com, which is just brutal, very close to rock bottom, but not actually rock bottom, because there's another set later on this list that is even lower than the 327 battle bag, but we'll get to that.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, the price is not only insane in a vacuum, like $45 is just too much for what you see here, but they released this while the 2024 Clone and Droid battle pack was still on shelves. That one retails for $30, and you get more minifigs in the $30 set. Now, the newer set does have 43.
No, let's not start that line of conversation. Come on, guys.
Droids worth
Be better than that.
$15 more? I don't think so. So not only is the price simply insane, they had the gall to release it right next to a set that is much more reasonably priced with the same exact concept of clones versus droids in a battle pack. Like, how could they think this would go over well? Aside from the price, though, the set was also controversial for its oversized ATRT build, the removal of a once leaked Felucia section of the build. That
Right.
just didn't
So kind of got the main bit with the lightsabers and stuff go. This is kind of what we're at so far. No, it's fine, but my favourite set, that changes frequently. Honestly, because I'm building this, I'll probably say it's this one.
Done better had this set been released back in 2014. So all of that combines for what I think is certainly the most controversial battle pack of all time and the 7th most controversial Lego Star Wars set released of all time. Number 6, I've got another one from summer of 2025 with the Republic Juggernaut, aka the clone Tiny Tank, for obvious reasons. Now, this one was controversial partly for what it wasn't in a UT.
What do you mean, no, I
People
won't?
had expected for literally 2 decades at this point that whenever Lego Star Wars set came out with Kiani Mundi, Commander Bakar, and Galactic Marines would be a UT-AT, simply because the only scene those characters are ever seen together in is during Order 66 on Megiddo with a UT-AT on the bridge. And so when it leaked that this was actually going to be...
You subbed. Thank you very much. We're on the journey to 4,000 subscribers as we speak.
What people wanted to hear. It definitely needed to be a UT-AT, and they went in the wrong direction. I don't know who's guiding them with a decision like this, but it never should have gotten this far. And it's really unfortunate because it's the type of thing you hype up in your head for literally 2 decades. The Revenge of the Sith anniversary comes around 20 years, and it's just a flop of a set like that. It's like, oh man, we wanted this one thing, and you didn't do it. Why? Now, for everything the set actually is, it's also not that great. That clone Tiny Tank nickname,
okay.
not a joke. It is a very
So I was gonna say this is in my top 10 favorite sets. Yes, it's just an interceptor from 14 years ago, but it is one of the coolest one-off sets.
Like, it's just absurd to me how tiny they made this thing, and that also came at the cost of stability in this case for some reason, because this set falls apart in your hands depending on how you pick it up. Now, you can pick it up in some ways where it won't fall apart, but literally there are ways you pick this set up that you might think could be reasonable or normal, and
That's where we're at. It's like the main kind of module that Anakin would sit in.
There is no like technic skeleton
Games.
structure to the set due to its small size, and that's just not great. There were a couple of other things like the sand blue coloring and the position of the cannons on the side of the turbo tank that just didn't make a lot of sense.
But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying the stream. I'm still like honestly, the excitement of building this is not wore off of me whatsoever. But not to mention, like, the fact that I've hung around and done 100 of these streams, because these live streams are part of my YouTube channel sat stagnant, not doing much for a year. And yeah, it's fine. And I wanted to continue to grow the channel and get it back up and running. I would say that the live streams are what's helped do that, along with the shorts. Why is that not moving?
A ton more figures for $60 less.
Oh, right, okay.
There's a lot of issues with this set, and overall, I think it will go down as one of the most controversial Lego Star Wars sets in history. Even as time goes on, I don't think people will look back on this one and be like, oh yeah, it actually wasn't so bad. No, it was that bad. At number 5, I've got the 2020 Nebulon B Frigate. It was a beautiful return to a form factor Lego Star Wars.
So what I've not noticed is it in the other bags? No. 2012, right, was the introduction, right?
So you gotta be wondering what
of the brick separator.
Nothing about the set itself was controversial.
I was kind of surprised there's not one here.
with the way this set was released. I would say it's the most disastrous release of a LEGO Star Wars set they've ever had. So first off, this set was available in the US only, which immediately makes everybody else very upset. The reason it was US only though was because 2020 was of course the year COVID shut down a lot of the conventions, and this was going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but because the event didn't happen, LEGO had to release the set and as well as some other con sets for that year like the Bespin Duel through alternate means. And so the set would have already been very hard to get, and there had been years and years of precedence of Comic-Con and Star Wars Celebration exclusive sets, so it was nothing new. Just what was new obviously was that they weren't doing it at Comic-Con, they were doing it online through Lego.com and Amazon.com, and so in that way they actually made the set a lot easier.
That's what I'm wondering, because 2012 was the year those were introduced.
On Lego.com or on Amazon.com. But like I said, it was one of the worst run releases in history. And so here's what happened. The set was supposed to release on November 14th, but for some reason on Amazon, about a month prior, you could find like a secret hidden listing of the Nebulon B frigate. It was listed with a code name. It had a picture that said coming soon. So you didn't really know for sure that it was the Nebulon B frigate, but you had a pretty dang good idea. And so you could actually buy the set in pretty big quantities. And I think I just...
Unless I've just not noticed it,
Amazon, but like I think some people
a big orange brick separate, you would notice something like that.
But with no guarantees, obviously. Regardless, the point is this set could only be purchased if you were kind of in the know and knew how to find it.
See, the green color is interesting to me, because until I got this set, most cars like this were like a Lego City kind of thing.
Before they even became truly publicly available, which kind of sucks for people that aren't as hardcore fans as maybe myself, right? I can understand that position. Obviously, I was able to get and secure one myself, didn't have an issue. But yeah, on the other side of that,
oh, behold,
so then when the actual
the old Lego Jedi Starfighter piece that they actually got rid of last year. This hung around for 20 years just to be smited.
They oversold it on Lego.com by a really significant amount. And so there were a lot of angry customers that I saw in my comment sections and sending me emails because I asked for the specific feedback. I was like, guys, if you went through this, let me know. Show me proof if you can so I can send it to Lego. I was trying to be that liaison between the community and the Lego company, which obviously didn't go well because Lego hates me now. But I was trying to do the right thing regardless. But what ended up happening was a lot of people thought they bought Nebulon B frigate from Lego.com on the release day and then had their orders canceled out from under them, and they never got it from Lego. Some of them obviously were given some VIP points if they complained or whatever, but that still doesn't replace actually having the really cool Comic-Con set that you wanted. And I think I made a pretty great rant video on it at the time called Lego Ruined It Again. I'll put it with a link in the description below. But what ended up happening because of this particular situation, Lego actually told me they were going to have a meeting because of what was going on in my video. And they, out of that, I believe, came to the decision to no longer do Comic-Con and exclusive type of sets like that because we haven't seen anything since then. They told me we're having this meeting. And
love this, honestly. This is... People will argue with me, but I still think this year was the peak of Lego Star Wars. Right, time for Bag 3, which is one of the wings.
Which is the wrong way to live your life, I'd say. You know, you got to keep taking chances, even if, unfortunately, sometimes it's not going to work out. And I just look at the history of Lego Star Wars and the aura, if you will, around some of the Comic-Con and Star Wars Celebration type of sets. That we
Another fact about this set, by the way.
That's it.
That's actually hilarious.
No more cool
it was the first Interceptor where a full R2-D2 or full astromech could go in the droid socket. This set was the first of that.
Because of the fact that so many people had their orders canceled, and I think a lot of people were very upset about that, and rightfully so. And of course, Lego's subsequent decision to basically axe any sort of cool Comic-Con exclusive type of set for the future. But yeah.
Do you know, I didn't really think about that until right now. This set did a lot of things for the first time.
There's only ever been one set more clowned on for its core design decisions than this one, and we'll discuss that one coming up. So this one has no head. That's kind of an issue a lot of people have with it. It literally just feels like an incomplete version of the AT-ST, which if you've seen The Last Jedi, and unfortunately a lot of people have, you would know that, yeah, there is a headless AT-ST at some point in the movie, but it of course does start with a head. So I think it would have made more sense for this playset to have included the head and it be removable in some sort of very fun way. But unfortunately they kind of took the cop-out route, and instead of designing something, I would say probably complex, to allow it to have the head that's removable and all that. They just made an ATST
Right.
without a head.
Let's
Now,
get
a
started.
big part of the reason this one was clowned on, I would say, was this release right as the 2016 version of the ATST from Rogue One was retiring, and that was considered to be the perfect ATST at the time. And really, to this day, I don't think they've made a better model as of.
So yeah, I'm just gonna get started on
But that
this.
ATST was $40 with 400.
But yeah, once the
pieces,
build
and then they released
is
this
finished,
ATST
sadly,
for
there
the
will
same
not be a
exact price,
gaming
$40,
part of
with
the
only
stream. I originally did
370
want it,
pieces.
but I've been
So
asked
they
to come
took
back,
quite a
go
bit
back
out of
into
there
work, like I
and
said.
still put it out at the same exact price. And yeah, people were rightfully very upset about that. And this one was just clowned out by the community.
So
Still is to
it
this
was
day,
the last
but
time we got
a lot of
Newt
jokes.
Gunray, but the
It
security
rightfully,
battle
I guess,
droid
but I
did
have
come
also kind
back
of saw the
in
dot a
the.
little bit as I look back on it. Like, it's
The
not
security
that
battle
bad of a set if
droid
you
came
think about what
back
it's
in the
actually based on from Watch
2014
Jedi. It just, yeah, it's missing
droid
the head.
Tri
It costs the
Fighter.
same money as the
Hey
one
there.
with the head that was available the day before. Like,
So that
that's
was
pretty
one
bad,
that
I'd
came
say.
back.
So, yeah, one of the most controversial sets of all
But it's one
time,
of those.
sir.
It was
And
also
number 3,
in
I've got
the
Captain Rex
Advent
Firefighter
calendar
from
set from this year as well,
2024. Part of its controversy
2012.
could be attributed to the low quality of the Captain Rex
Because remember,
minifigure,
the
and
Advent
it was
calendars
done
end up
in
using
Star
other
Wars. It's
figures that
missing
they've used that
visual
same
that
year
everybody
just to
wants, and it's
get
got some
stock out.
inaccuracies in the design where
Essentially, what the
basically
Advent
Halo Found
calendars
was
with
making a
Lego end
downright
up being.
ugly one. The
So
true
yeah, they'd have
controversy
had
with this
that.
microfighter, though, was set in motion about a year prior to its release when Lego dropped the $650 UCS Venator. Included with that set was the first Phase 2 Captain Rex we had seen in a decade. And when fans spent their hard-earned $650 on this one and read through the instruction manuals or perhaps watched my review of said set, they would have seen a snippet in there that said both minifigures are exclusive to this set, meaning the Captain Rex and Admiral Yularen included should be exclusive to the Venator. I would argue in perpetuity. And certainly that's what Lego would want you to think when you're buying the set or potentially thinking about
Thanks,
spending
man. Thanks for
$650
joining.
on the set, is that I
We're
need to buy
building the
it
set
so that I can get
9494. This is the set
part of the
as
reason you buy
chosen
the
by
set.
you
There are, of course,
guys
people that will
for
argue
the
that
100th
CSS
stream.
minifigs don't matter, but I mean,
9494
part of the purpose,
Anakin's
part of
Jedi
the reason
Interceptor
minifigs are
from
what they make the set Lego
2012.
apart. They absolutely do matter in
So
every
remember,
case in which they are included.
I will
think
be
what's
doing
better,
a
certainly
vote
because you're
for
spending
every
more money,
time I'm
doesn't
going
mean
up
I
1,000
personally, as someone who
subscribers,
loves both
or every time we're
minifigures,
getting
like,
close to the
they both
100th
matter.
stream,
And
right?
so if one thing is off, it's bad, whether it's the build or the
I'm
figure.
nearly
It doesn't
at
matter.
3,400
It's all part of the
subscribers.
whole
Still want to
in
get
the
to
box figure. So
3,500.
Lego tried to spin these
I will
minifigures
set up
as
the
a
vote to
true
determine
extra
what we build for
incentive to
4,000
spend
subscribers, and I'll
all
let
this
that
extra
vote
money
sit
if
for
you
as
wanted
long
the
as it
Captain Rex, 'cause
takes
again, it had been 10 years
to
at
get
that
the
point since they had announced
500
Captain
from
Rex.
there
And they were like,
to
okay, this
4,000.
version at least of Captain Rex will be exclusive to the Venator.
Be curious to
Then
see how long
Lego
that vote
went
ends
and
up having
released
to
the
sit up
exact
for.
same version of that Captain Rex in the Microfighter. Of course, no fan would expect any Captain Rex to only ever show up in one set. Of course, people expected Captain Rex to be in other sets, but for Lego to explicitly call it exclusive and then 7 months later,
So this will be the
make it
easier of the two
non-exclusive,
wings
but
to
never
build because
put
this one
a
does not
instruction
have
manual that's
an
lying to you the
astromech
whole
droid
time.
socket in it.
Like, it rubs me and many other fans the wrong way. Part of the controversy also, of course, is that there are many fans willing and able to defend the multi-billion-dollar corporation that's lying to its fans that are spending their hard-earned money on the more expensive sets, you know? And that's a really wild part of it, too, is that there's just so many Lego shills out there that are ready to defend Lego for even like a simple lie like that. It's just super simple where Lego could have avoided all the controversy by simply not calling the figures exclusive. Because if they weren't said to be exclusive, nobody would have the expectation of exclusivity, therefore no controversy. But instead, Lego created their own problem here. And it's not the first time that Lego has called a minifig
But yeah,
exclusive and then
so
released it in a
I'll be
set
doing a
later on,
vote,
but it is
like I said,
certainly
one.
far and away
I'd imagine
the biggest
by
set that they
Sunday
have
or
done
Monday,
like that with. I would
I'll
also
have a
argue it's
vote
very
up
different than the previous
so you
times
guys
Lego
can
did,
pick what we
because
build
Lego
for
now owns its
4,000
own
subscribers.
secondary
But this is the
market.
3,000
They're
subscriber
keenly
build.
aware of what the word exclusive can mean to
They're kind of
people,
cool that
how
way.
it will influence
It'll
their
probably.
purchasing decisions, and what it could mean for the price
I
on the
don't know,
secondary
and
market.
part of me
Figures
doesn't
sell on
want to know.
Reclaim.com, which Lego owns, they of course get a percentage of that sale. So if the figure is worth more money, it sells for more money. Lego makes more money from the resale of that figure when people buy the set from them. It's all one big circle. And so I am really cool with exclusive minifigures and expensive sets. I'm also okay with them not making every figure in an expensive set exclusive. I just think you can't lie to your fans. That's what it really breaks down to me as. I mean, you can lie to your fans, sure, whatever. I can tell you right now that I'm 7 feet tall. It doesn't hurt anyone. What does hurt people is when you lie to them when money's on the line, when it does matter. Like, they are making a purchasing decision and being lied to while making that purchasing decision. I just think that's wrong. I know saying lying is bad ruffles a lot of feathers out there for some reason, but that is also another reason the controversy is just so big around this set. just for some reason.
Oh, these posters are from HMV, the Star Wars, the Japanese versions of the Empire Strikes Back poster.
It's wild out there. And I think this set and its controversy have had some pretty big impacts within the LEGO Star Wars community over the past couple of years, as well as decisions for LEGO.
So next up is the Canon.
They haven't called any other minifigs exclusive. You know, they have learned that lesson. Obviously, that doesn't mean that there won't and can't be exclusive minifigures and expensive sets, but it does mean that LEGO is at least making some sort of effort, in my opinion, to not blatantly lie.
Right, so on one side, right, the posters are from HMV, the Japanese versions of the Empire Strikes Back posters.
Feels dirty, because it is. At number 2, I've got the 2025 UCS Death Star, and frankly, it may be controversial to put this at number 2 and not number 1, but I feel like number 1 is really dang controversial too. That's why it's number 1. Anyway, we're getting there. The Death Star has 3 things that I think make it particularly controversial. First off, got the $1,000 price tag, both the most expensive LEGO.
Yeah, no problem.
And the first one, at least in US dollars, to break through that.
Yeah, one side because it's got the droid port, the other side of the set because it's 2012, it has flick fire missiles.
As a big point in time, and it certainly did end up being a big moment in history for LEGO Star Wars. A lot of people view it as a point of no return, and a lot of complaints came in about this set, about its price specifically. I think because it's $1,000. I think if it was 10% less of a Death Star and 10% less price, you know, equal across the board, and it was $900, nobody would really be complaining about the price. I think the price is actually fair for the amount of stuff you're getting, which is a crazy thing to say, perhaps more controversial than anything on this list. But I really think the price is generally okay. Like, it's a really big set with a lot of...
Yeah, it's alright. I'll be live for a bit longer, not too long, just because I have to head back to work soon.
It's about right to me, you know? It definitely is a big shock to the system at $1,000. So it is controversial, certainly, for that reason. The other piece of controversy is perhaps the biggest part of it, and that would be the slice. The fact that it's not actually a full sphere. You see, there had been a rumored $1,000 Death Star for like 6 months of 2025 before people found out the design of the Death Star wouldn't actually be what they expected.
And there is said missiles. Looks great.
Well, because it has been 20 years since we have had a spherical paneled Death Star. And no, the May 4th promo doesn't count. I'm just strictly talking about like UCS level Death Star. And people very logically expected a return to a design like that, perhaps paneled with an interior, but again, that didn't happen. LEGO's design really did shock.
So that's like the main bit of the wing. The other wing, like I said, has the droid port for R2-D2.
The most prevalent nickname for this one, and rightfully so. It is quite literally a slice of the Death Star. It's a
but I can't wait to see what you guys end up picking for the next room. Or the next Volt.
The design actually worked out well, but that's not what this video is about. It's not about the positives of any of these sets. All of the sets that I've talked about to this point have positive attributes. The point is, it's been very controversial the way they designed this set. The slice was, in many people's opinions, the wrong way to go because they wanted a full-on sphere for the price. It has that premium price, but it doesn't have the premium complete Death Star feel, and like, I can understand that point of view, certainly. So the slice aspect definitely has proven to be a very controversial one, and then the final bit on this, which is probably what I care about the most, is the minifigures not being where they should for the $1,000 price and the UCS name. You've got about 6 or 7 figures in this set that either needed arm printing or dual-molded legs. Like, one of the Imperial crew members in a previous UCS Imperial Star Destroyer got arm printing, but in this UCS Death Star, which costs more, he doesn't get arm printing. And then for a bunch of the other figures, they really needed dual-molded legs. Like C-3PO didn't get a dual-molded leg in this set, but in sets as cheap as the $6 keychain or $140 C-3PO build or $240 UCS Luke's Landspeeder, those all got the dual-molded leg version of C-3PO. But this $1,000 set that includes C-3PO doesn't get that highest quality.
Hey, how's it going?
The same can also be said for a lot of the Imperial officers that lack
so
dual-molded legs, despite previous Imperial officers in UCS sets receiving dual-molded legs properly.
Guys, I will be right back, but this stream will probably end within the next half hour.
There's no way around it. Everything in it should be the highest possible quality, and it's not. You know, the minifigs were very easy slam dunks for them. If they just would have thrown in some dual-molded legs, that would have cost them $5 for the entire set of cost, if that. That's probably being super generous on my end. But, you know, in my opinion, just make the set $1,005 and call it good, and then everybody can have what they want. It's not a problem, but instead you're being cheap to the tune of saving pennies, you know? It just didn't make any sense to me. It should surprise nobody that the LEGO Star Wars minifigure designer defended this by saying adding that cost to a figure that might need to appear in a much smaller and cheaper set like C-3PO is not necessarily an option. Going on to say that they had to prioritize certain things.
Oh, we had to put on our first sticker. Nice.
Unique faces for stormtroopers and Imperial crew members that you actually never see on the Death Star in the original trilogy. So they just made up a bunch of stuff to put on the Death Star and prioritize resources towards that you both never see. And literally, like, if you display the set for the Stormtroopers specifically because they have the helmets on, you never even see the physical Lego heads. They literally prioritize giving a bunch of these characters new faces and stuff that you never see over giving dual-molded legs to figures. And that is certainly a controversial decision, in my opinion. And I would just say, frankly...
Oh, I got that on there. Perfect.
It's a UCS set. You should be giving the best, most accurate things you can to the movie, not just random character faces that you never saw. Lego Star Wars today. I mean, their slogan, after all, is only the best is good enough. And that will lead us
the sticker
into
sheet
what
back
I believe is the
there.
most controversial Lego Star Wars set release of all time, with the 2021 UCS.
But yeah,
Republic.
here's to 100 streams and
I
probably
think is very important.
several
This set
hundred
was the
more,
winner of a
possibly
Lego
thousands, who
ISP
knows.
vote that ended in early 2020 between it, the Nebulon B frigate, and the TIE bomber. Of course, the gunship won in a landslide, and part of that voting process included a section asking fans which minifigures they would like to see in this UCS Republic gunship. I and many others then campaigned for the sets and minifigs that we wanted to see. The gunship gang showed out strong, and the gunship won by a landslide. So that's
grills
kind of
and the
Spark
wings
Notes
looks
version of
great.
how this set came to be. And so when the set then got revealed, the minifigures were the first big point of controversy. They included a clone commander and Mace Windu. Both of these are very normal, standard Episode 2 Attack of the Clones characters that certainly could and do belong in a UCS Republic gunship, but given the fact that LEGO had asked fans which minifigs they wanted to see, and fans certainly did answer, they weren't what fans had been asking for. Fans were specifically asking for Jedi Bob
Right.
and a Phase
Next
2
one.
Commander Cody to make appearances in this set, both of which could have been completely appropriate given that Jedi Bob's sole appearance to this point was in the 2002 Republic gunship, and given it would be a fan-voted set, yeah, you could have a fan-voted minifigure like a Jedi Bob in this set for fun.
Got this one on
as a
just as
little
well.
extra thing,
Well,
as a bonus, if you will. And then Commander Cody would also work because Commander Cody uses Republic gunships. He's a clone trooper. You can see him in Revenge of the Sith right next to a Republic gunship. So it wouldn't be out of the question to include minifigures like that in a UCS Republic gunship. But LEGO, of course, saw this is what the fans want and said, oh, we can't have that. We should spit in their faces instead.
that
So they
might
made
be
a
true. I'm not
ridiculous
entirely
statement
sure.
that
It's
minifigs
one of those
are
things I'd have to go back and
on top of
check.
the
But
fact that, like,
I mean,
I'm a paying customer, and part of
that
what I'm
does
paying
sound
for is
like
a
it could be
minifig,
true.
and it's part of what I care about, and therefore it's not just a bonus to me or any.
That is the
of paying
first wing
customers out
built.
there that consider it to be like an important part of their purchasing decision. And on top of the fact that you didn't start including minifigs and UCS sets because it wasn't helping them sell, like they definitely help you sell UCS sets. That's why you're doing it. They also
Let's
originally
attach this
asked
to the
what
cockpit.
minifigs people wanted in the UCS gunship. So if it was just a bonus, why not have made it a bonus from the very beginning and considered it that way as a big surprise? Be like, hey, we're going to include some bonus minifigs. Get excited.
One more
that's
wing
not
to
how
go
it's
on the
ever been worded.
build.
But only because they asked people what they wanted and then didn't give them what they wanted. And now they're trying to find some random excuse calling it a bonus. Even more fuel was added to the fire when the designer of the set said that the clone commander included in the set could double as a pilot.
So one is a clone commander, which also doubles as the pilot of the ship.
Notably, the accurate clone pilot for the UCS gunship, not included in this set, would have made a lot of sense to include instead of that clone commander. Like, pretty wild stuff, and it set me and a lot of
There we
other
go.
fans
What
off.
time are we
Who were
on?
very
Just
upset
because I know
about
I
it.
have to
But
leave.
that
Like,
wasn't even all of it. It wasn't just
at
the
some point.
minifigures. You know, this was the first prequel UCS set in 11
Cool,
years
cool, cool.
in
Right.
2021. Not only that, but
Final bag. Again, I want to thank.
fans had to campaign and vote it into existence. Like, it wasn't just handed to us like all of
It'll
the
have to.
original
The set will be
UCS sets
complete,
for the
and
right? This was one that we felt like we had to
unfortunately, I do have to go out and go back to work for like half an hour just to sort some stuff out. I very much doubt I'll go live again after that because I'm up early. But we have pretty much well built the whole set by that point.
The gunship is a set from the original trilogy.
So this wing build's a bit different because I think it has more pieces as well. Hey there, Potato God.
Very controversial to say that to your paying customers with your first prequel UCS set in over a decade. It didn't go over well. It didn't go over well at all. Did I mention they put the Imperial logo on the box too? Yeah, all of that other stuff happened, and then they also put the Imperial logo on the box. This was later changed, of course, to the Republic logo when they realized their mistake. But again, first prequel UCS set in over a decade. Fans have been clamoring.
Let's go,
for
final
this
wing.
for quite a while. They had to vote it and earn its way into existence. And they just did everything they could to spit in the face of the consumer, on top of releasing that clone commander and 2 more sets.
Oh, yeah, it's a guarantee.
yeah, it didn't remain exclusive to the UCS gunship because the designer believed minifigures shouldn't be exclusive to expensive sets, despite.
I stream almost every day, with like very few exceptions.
After that
Part of making the channel grow.
Exclusive minifigs and expensive sets. They did everything.
And apparently dropping things is too.
It was really sad to see, and it's still sad to think about just how awful that whole thing was run and how easy it could have been fixed with someone that actually cared in charge of it. But unfortunately, they didn't have that, and probably still don't. You know, you can see with a lot of stuff they do modern day, they really don't have people that truly.
See, I'm already noticing the differences with this wing because it has to accommodate R2-D2.
Hate that UCS Republic gunship, other than actually making a good gunship, because I think they succeeded with that. But anyway, that is my list of the 10 most controversial LEGO Star Wars set releases of all time. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did I miss any? Were there some that deserve to be here that I didn't have in the list? I'm kind of curious what people think. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button, and this outro doubles as a promotion for MNRshop.com or something.
But yeah, I want to thank everyone who picked this set, because I'll tell you one thing, you guys picked like one of the best LEGO Star Wars sets you guys could have picked.
$1,000 Death Star. It costs more money, has more pieces, more minifigures, and probably more Easter eggs than any other LEGO Star Wars set before it. I'd also argue that there's probably more controversy surrounding this one than any other LEGO Star Wars set ever. Its price, shape, and minifig quality are the three main reasons for that, and the community's nickname for this set is the Death Slice, and that's pretty fitting given what you see on the side of the box.
So this actually surprises me. I would have thought, right, that the this is just what I thought. I had thought the 2010, hey there, the 2010 Boba Fett Slave 1 would have won the set, but I didn't expect this one to be the one that got there. I thought this would be second place.
So it's a little better than nothing, but
or possibly third, because I did have that Sandcrawler on there. The original 2005 model.
Top left with the Death Star silhouette above it, which is weird because they've been super consistent about putting the faction logo, and in this case it would be the Imperial logo for the Death Star, on their UCS sets, and I don't know why that has changed here. Don't like that. The left side of the box has a pretty cool 1-to-1 scale shot of the Death Star, and it shows just how thin it is, coming in at just 14 studs. They're calling it their thinnest UCS Death Star ever. I do like the touch of Imperial hallway lights though, and you'll see that wrap onto the top of the box and split up your minifig selection. On the top you've got the Rebellion
10 likes. Do you know what?
You've got the Imperial characters.
This stream's done all right.
Split that up,
Hopefully, like it's reflected on the end screen. You know, all the advertising I put in this one.
We got this very interesting Death Star picture because it's not from a movie or a game. It's just some image that they seem to.
I do have one of the newer. I have two of the newer UCS sets. I've got the Sail Barge and the Jango Fett Slave one.
That's what you would find on the internet, and so
I don't know. Maybe the TIE Interceptor. I do kind of like that one.
I think that would be more fitting. This picture just feels so out of place to me. And then as we look at the back of the box, you'll see some.
Then again, I do need the Venator. That'll be a set that I buy and will probably have to keep sealed until I have the space and years down the line for it. But this year, I am buying a UCS Venator. Sadly, I will not be building it, because I don't think I have this. I can accommodate.
So cutting those and opening the top flap, you're going to find an interesting image of a cutaway of the Death Star showing a lot of the internal structure, which is cool. Opening to the next couple of flaps, you're going to find a nice artistic drawing of the Death Star, Tarkin, and a quote from him. And then as you open those, you are greeted with a magnificent shot of Darth Vader from Rogue One. Now, each of these boxes are quite heavy in their own rights, and they've got a simple numbering system along with a fun numbering system with the lightsaber blades lit up to represent 1, 2, and 3 boxes respectively. Pretty dang cool. You've also got the Death Star.
This bit is fragile, well building. That's something I'm noticing.
For each of these, and then there's like the LEGO Star Wars logo on the other side. But pretty cool as far as these internal boxes go. And then as you open each of them,
so let's see, right? It's currently in the UK. It's 18 minutes past.
You'll notice there's a weird mix of scenes from actual Star Wars
8:40. I want to be done. So that's in 22. I'll be done. This stream will be, let's say, 12 minutes.
All of the boxes. Now, my biggest takeaway is that this packaging just isn't very cohesive.
The Sail Barge is not in the best place display-wise, to be completely honest.
People worked on it, but nobody was actually in charge of what it was supposed to be. Like, it's all Death Star related in one way or another, but I just find it to be super not cohesive, which you might not care about, but usually I'm in favor of. Moving on, this set has an absolutely massive sticker sheet. It's literally the size of my iPad. It is unbelievable. There's a lot of great details on these stickers and fun ones, but, you know, for sticker haters out there, this is probably your worst nightmare. Now, there's also 6 total instruction manuals. That's a lot of instruction manuals. It does allow you to split the build up between multiple people if you'd like. like. And I will say this is probably somewhere in the realm of a 20 to 24 hour build if you're an experienced builder, and certainly longer if you are not. So if you are planning on getting this one, just expect to be building for quite a while, or get some friends. As you've seen me start to flip through the instruction manuals, there is a ton of information within these. It is
Yeah, right.
overbearing,
This wing
but
is
in a really
completely
good way. Like,
different.
it's
There's
great that
almost
Lego
no
has gone to
similarities
lengths
to
that
how
they
it
have
builds.
to give you so much
Like, on top
information
it
about
look
Death
almost
Star,
the same
and
because there's
certainly
just a
about the
plate to
minifigures. I
blanket
think
off
they
there, but
went into the
structurally,
specifics about each of the characters
completely
included
different.
in the set within the instruction manual that they are going to be built with. Like, that's really cool to me. The other thing you'll notice is each book starts by telling you which section you are going to build with that book, which I think is nice for people, as well as there's a bunch of movie shots throughout these books, which is always cool to see. So I think these are some very well done instruction manuals.
Tell you what, this live stream's ending at 8:30. I'm gonna have to confirm that because what I'm gonna have to do.
Here are all the numbered bags laid out on my table. It is quite a sight to behold because they barely fit. It goes number 1 through 81, and in bag 66, they actually have Emperor Palpatine as an Easter egg to Order 66. So pretty cool stuff there. As I mentioned in the intro, there are 38 minifigures included. That is by far the most ever in a Lego Star Wars set. And that
1 second.
is really
I'll read your
exciting.
comment
On
once you
top
come
of
back
that,
now.
A lot of these minifigures are new, they are unique, and some of them, they forever remain exclusive to this $1,000 Death Star. On the flip side, there are unfortunately a lot of minifigures in this set that Lego Star Wars has cheaped out on, which I find completely unacceptable for a set that they are charging $1,000 for and have slapped the Ultimate Collector Series name on. Don't worry though, the Lego Star Wars minifig designer has defended all of their cheap and silly decisions, so it's okay, we can hand wave them all away. And not really, we won't be doing that in this review. We'll actually be rebutting his answers. Starting off strong with the Farm Boy Luke Skywalker, we've got a truly great minifigure here. It's the best version of this Luke they've ever done. The dark tan hair looks nice. You've got a couple of different face prints, so you can get that angry expression on there too, if you'd like. They did that little bit of hip printing that allows that line to continue from the torso to the hip to the legs. That looks phenomenal. Like, that's a little thing that goes a long way on this minifig, and the leg print also looks very nice. I think this is a great character all around. Great job by Lego on this Luke. There's, of course, another Luke included in this one with Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper outfit. Pretty standard look. It's got the standard Stormtrooper armor and the standard Luke Skywalker hairpiece and face. You know, nothing to write home about, but it's just another solid figure in the set that you, of course, had to have here. It does not include an extra Stormtrooper helmet for him to swap out, though, which I was a bit disappointed by. They also didn't include it in the diorama set from 2021, so there's a little precedence there, but also the last two UCS Death Stars included the extra Stormtrooper helmet, so you can see where they're cutting corners. We also have the fantastic Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker with that great newer hairpiece. Again, a couple of face prints, all the same as the last two Lukes, and then you've got the glove on the right hand, no glove on the left hand. Nice figure overall, and that's 3 good Lukes to start us off. Princess Leia is where I think things become a little bit questionable. You've got a nice figure overall, certainly, but she does not include the swap out leg piece to go from the legs to
I found the
printed dress
2012,
piece, which I would say looks much nicer.
that's a good
Princess
deal.
Leia. Minifig designer says they went with the plain legs because, quote, it would allow her to lie down in the cell and look more natural when swinging across the chasm. And I see your excuse.
That's a good deal. See if you want to army build those, which I have still considered. That's a good way to go.
Here on this figure and the printed dress piece that allowed fans to swap it out as they pleased.
Yeah, there's a video on in the background, man.
Han Solo, I'd say, is mostly a very nice minifigure with printing going all the way down to the legs. A lot of accurate details, always nice to see. But there is some false advertising going on here with the.
Right, let's continue. I aim to be finished this in the next. The stream will end in the next 8 minutes. Like I said, just because I gotta go back to work for like half an hour, it does kind of suck. But
now, when I reviewed the $10 Millennium Falcon Microfighter, I cared about
yeah,
it, and I certainly care about it in a $1,000 set. It's ridiculous that Lego still can't get it right, and that they still will falsely advertise to your face that it's going to look better than it is. The other Han Solo is the Stormtrooper outfit version. You've got the same hair and head as the Smuggler, and then the standard Stormtrooper armor. He, of course, like Luke, does not include the extra helmet, which is unfortunate for $1,000. Next with Chewbacca, he's kind of the standard deal here. No extra arm printing or anything for being in a UCS.
Something. Oh god, I better not be right.
Bowcaster, which is cool, but yeah. Next, we have a new design for the older Obi-Wan Kenobi with some updated printing on the torso and legs. That certainly looks nice. You've got a couple of different face prints, and you got the cape and then his blue lightsaber as his accessory. Definitely a nice minifig to plop down into the Death Star to fight against Darth Vader. And that brings us to C-3PO.
I have to quickly check something. I think I'm
in this set. And if you're a more casual Lego,
yeah, it's M&R Productions. I guess I can't put on a TV show, and I cannot put on Star Wars or anything because I would get copyright generated
that simple. You see,
after
if you look
this
down to his
uploads
legs,
later,
you
because I like
see
to
those
upload these as
splotches of
videos.
silver. And in some cheaper sets, of course, because it's the most expensive set ever, LEGO has included a more premium version of
There it is.
C-3PO where the leg is dual molded. And in this set, for $1,000, they didn't do that. It's also notable that last year, for a $500 set, they also didn't do that. But they did do that for their $6 keychain of C-3PO, which you can conveniently buy with my
Some of
LEGO
them
Power
didn't
Link
have
in
wings. The ones in
description below. The point on
2011
display
did
there
not
says
have
far cheaper
wings.
than this one that have included
Because
a
those
much
are just
better
like the...
C-3PO. It stands to reason that is
I think
something
in the way
that's
it
so
is in
expensive,
Geno's and
it's only
Societies, the
ever
ones
getting
with
better. It
wings
never, ever works.
are
It's a
warriors. The
mindset
ones
I
without
find
wings are
C-3PO to be
laborers.
utterly unacceptable for this $1,000 set. It, in a vacuum, isn't a bad C-3PO. Unfortunately, they have made better and have chosen not to use it here. And don't worry, the minifig designer has an excuse lined up for you guys. Here's the full quote, but the two main takeaways is that they claim that they couldn't do a dual molded leg because he might need to appear in a cheaper set, which completely flies in the face of any reasonable thinking, as this figure with the dual molded leg already appears in cheaper sets. And he also claims they had to prioritize. What exactly did they have to prioritize? Seemingly a few things that you never actually saw in the Star Wars original trilogy. This is LEGO Star Wars in 2025. Moving on, though, our final good guy minifig is R2-D2. I think they've
Right, this is
essentially
the droid
perfected R2
section for
in this
R2.
format, unless they made completely new molds for him. I don't really see what else they could do. They even got the back printing here, of course, so nice figure included, and that rounds out our good guys. Our first Imperial is going to be Grand Moff Tarkin, who's, of course, great to see in
The set we're building, if you're just joining, is the 2012 Anakin
Anakin's
Jedi Interceptor.
and surprisingly, a perfectly accurate torso. He's got the rank indicator that's down pat.
We're just on the final bag.
Correct number of code cylinders.
Right,
And that's a big
time
thing
for a
because last
sticker.
year on Grand Admiral Thrawn, they put the wrong number of code cylinders, I guess because they thought it looked better, but they were wrong. Both better looking and more
See,
accurate.
I would,
The
but
proper
to me,
number of
that's a
code
good
cylinders.
deal.
It's nice to see the designer actually realize the mistake
Primarily
and
because
figure for the
Geonosians is something that, you know, can't hurt to have another one.
You gotta have those right for $1,000.
And that's a good cannon.
Unfortunately,
Mine's
they
is
don't have right for
over there, a little
$1,000
bit
is
obscured
legs
on the
a lot
shelf.
of these Imperials, and you'll see this
I want to do a
on
stream
something
soon
mentioned
where
here,
I
certainly.
change up my
He doesn't
shelving.
have the dual molded legs to properly represent the boots. We did see those in the 2019 UCS Imperial Star Destroyer, where its Imperial officer
Perfect.
got the dual molded leg treatment, but these ones aren't going to. Saying you had to prioritize things like a new color wig piece that we never actually see in the original trilogy doesn't hold any water to me as a fan spending $1,000 on your set. Grand Moff Tarkin is generally a nice minifig. This is probably the best one they've ever made, but it's not.
Is that another
as good as
piece
it
that
should
somehow
be
rolled?
for $1,000.
I'll be winning this
Dual molded
shit.
legs needed to be here, and they weren't because Lego's being cheap. Darth Vader is practically a perfect minifigure here with great
sorry
detail
about
in the
that.
torso, hips, and legs. You've got the arm printing. You also have that removable helmet piece that reveals a nice.
That's because I
ivory
threatened
face
to end the
print, as
stream
well
at a
as back
regular
of
time. The
head
Lego
printing.
pieces are
You've got the
throwing
red
themselves on the
lightsaber as his
floor.
main accessory, and yeah, it's a great Darth Vader figure. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about Palpatine. There are certainly some positive attributes here, like the newer lightning piece. I think I kind of like it compared to the old one. It's just a bit sharper and cleaner looking. They also gave him, if you will, curved hilts to hold the lightning with. But my issue with him, though, really comes down to the eyes. The no pupil look within colored eyes.
There we go.
Like Star Wars minifigs, to me, would denote either a zombified character or a blind character. Palpatine, in this case, is of course neither, and therefore I think this looks extremely bad. I'll say the Imperial Dignitary is a minifig I'm
There we
pleasantly
go.
surprised to see in the set. It's one of those you would always wish would be in a set like this, like a very niche kind of background character.
Sorry about that.
But
Right,
you never
okay.
know. Could have
Let's
been
get
left on
the
chopping
joints
block.
on
Fortunately,
hold
it
on
was
the wing.
not here, and he looks mostly very cool. My biggest qualm with him is certainly the lack of leg printing or printing on the front of the dress piece. It just needed to be there on this figure. It's otherwise an excellent figure. The torso detail is fantastic with that bit of red popping out. Adds a nice break to the all-purple design, which is something you really don't see much
It's
elsewhere in
aiming
Lego Star
to end
Wars.
in 3
The base
minutes,
is also
but
very nice.
I'm
It's
bad
a
at
very,
keeping
like,
to time.
gameplay-looking
I do
face.
apologize,
So
guys. I would
you
like to do it for
gotta love
longer,
that.
but
And then you've got
obviously I
the
need
newer
to
hat piece
be there on
that
time.
they made just for him, of course, because he's got a very unique hat. So I think it's a fantastic figure, mostly besides the lack of printing on the bottom, and certainly as a character getting included in a Lego Star
Oh,
Wars
that's
set for the
another
first
thing
time,
stopping
a
me.
nice one to see. I
Great.
suppose I will add, I do wish there was more than one of them here. There
I
is a
need to do the
second one that we
stickers,
see
'cause I
quite
think I can-
prominently, so
The dog's
feel like
wanting
that
out,
should've
so
been
I gotta
two,
do
but
that.
yeah, the one is nice. Colonel Yularen is certainly an exciting inclusion, and from the belt up, I find him to be a fantastic, accurate figure. You've got the proper rank indicator, you've got that white mustache, and a very Yularen look for his face in general. You've also got the perfect hairpiece for him, I'd say. The issue I have with Yularen, though, are his legs being all white. It's a clean look, sure, but it's an inaccurate one, and that's what we're here to talk about. In the movie, it's pretty clear that most of his legs are black, more significantly than necessitating dual molded legs, where it would just be boots. You really need all black legs for a character like this, and Lego Star Wars, of course,
That's the
defends
other
this
way.
decision with more reliable.
We've gone with white because our
Yeah, I'm gonna have
previous,
to let the guys, I'm gonna have to let the dog out. I'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
To
Another
put
time
the last
sure why
stickers
being
on and end
consistent
it.
with a decade-old minifigure from a different piece of media is relevant here, although being consistent with some other things a decade ago would definitely help Lego Star Wars these days. The white legs just were wrong then, and they're wrong now. And all the proof you need for that is to look at Director Krennic, whose Imperial outfit is largely similar to Colonel Yularen, with the addition of the cape, and they opt for all black legs with him. This is a direct inconsistency within this very set. If you want to be consistent, why not be consistent to your current design language? Like, they've done it for Director Krennic, but not for Yularen, who I believe in the actual media for Star Wars actually wear like the same outfit for their legs. So you would think the Lego versions should properly represent that sameness, but they don't. They're completely different. You just gotta love the scraping of the bottom of the barrel for the consistency excuse. Like, come on, guys, what are we doing? Colonel Yularen should have black legs. He looks nice, certainly, with white legs, but I'm arguing that it's not what looks nice or not. It's just it's not. And in this case, Yularen, I would say, is pretty inaccurate. Next, we have Admiral Mahdi. This is the guy that Darth Vader chokes in the Imperial meeting room, and he's a fantastic figure with a lot of great and accurate detail. You've got the proper rank.
I like
figure,
this. This is
number
cool.
of code cylinders. That's right, 2 on one side and 1 on the other. This is just fantastic detail.
So even the 501st stream, we would have to build a 501st set. I think that's a guarantee.
For him, of course, this as an Imperial officer figure in this set will fall short with the lack of dual molded legs, and ultimately, to me, just not good enough for $1,000. But it's still a good figure. Just any $1,000 UCS set, it's unacceptable to not have the dual molded legs on this guy. They just should be there. But yeah, he's nice to see. Next, with General Tage, we again get fantastic attention to detail on the torso with the proper rank indicator and number of code cylinders. You've got a nice face print, but you do
Putting
have
these wine
four
stickers on, which for some reason they tell you to do it
His
after
hair
you put
in
them
the
on.
is just one of the worst
But-
haircuts you're probably going to see in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And yet they've given him just a normal dude's hairpiece for Lego. There's no way they didn't have a hairpiece that looked worse than this. And they actually made it look like he had nice hair. I don't know. Maybe there's not a better piece that currently exists to represent this. Could they have made a new piece for a $1,000 set? Certainly they could have, right? Don't pretend like they couldn't have. So yeah, that to me is just a
So I've
shame.
got to do
This
these
figure
on the
just
bottom
doesn't
now as
really
well.
match to me. And then of course, again, no dual
What time is it?
legs on this guy.
Yeah.
Ultimately dragging him down below Admiral Mahdi. Next we have Director Krennic, who to me is just a perfect 10 out of 10 minifigure. I think he looks amazing here. Great detail on the torso. Of course, the black legs being more proper to me than the white legs on Yularen. And then he's got that great hairpiece, great couple of face prints, and the white cape draped down his back. Just looks so good. So I gotta say, I love the inclusion of Director Krennic here, even though he is a bit of an outsider to the set in a way. And we'll see that with where he actually ends up with the final model. He's not going to be placed within the Death Star. He'll be outside of the Death Star. But
Yeah, Lego got to hurry up and do that set that they probably won't do and will probably mess up.
The creation of the Death Star. On top of that, we have
Lego need to do it so me specifically, I can do it for a stream.
He's got a couple of very nice face prints, and there's a arm print on him on one side of him. Really great to see those type of
pause the
accurate
TV.
details, and perhaps even better to most people, his accessories.
Well, after nearly a week of sitting around, probably has been about a week to be fair, of sitting around in my glass cabinet, we have constructed Anakin's Jedi Interceptor from 2012. You get, you know, the cool platforms which they do on in the movie. You get the mining droid. It's a pretty cool set. Standard R2-D2 for that era. Security battle droid. Those guys aren't nothing special, but the rest of the figures in this. Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. Nute Gunray. And Anakin. This set was worth the money I paid, and all of people told me not to open it, but I could not find a good used one. And in a lot of cases, when it comes to sets that I have a lot of nostalgia for, it is kind of just cooler to do it this way. So, I'm going to, you know what, I stand by that statement. I'm going to get ready as we talk here, but that was so much fun, especially the fact that you guys picked that set of all sets for me to build. I honestly thought Boba Fett Slave 1 would have been the set that lucked out and won that one. For some reason, part of me just did not see this being the winning set. I thought it would have been destroyed by Boba Fett Slave 1, so you guys definitely surprised me, you know, in that department. So, I plan to redo my shelving to incorporate this one, because now that I've bought this, I'm wanting a Revenge of the Sith display on my shelf. That is just Revenge of the Sith sets. See, another really cool Revenge of the Sith set came out the same year, Palpatine's Arrest, which I've got on my shelf. So that one would be a must. But yeah, I want to Thank you everyone who joined in. 100 streaming. Here's 2. I wonder how quickly we'll get to 200. I wonder if it'll take me another 100. I wonder if we can do it in 100 days, or, you know, if it will take me, you know, longer than that. Who knows, it could take me less if I start doing 2 streams a day, which that ain't realistic. You never know. But hey, once again, thank you for picking, you know, doing the vote. We got this, it's great. It's a cool box. And, you know, we can have a review of this set at some point. Thank you as well, man. And here's 100 or so more subscribers, and we'll do the vote for the next one. Thank you very much for watching.